meeting is being recorded.
Good afternoon, good morning, good late evening, or even good evening, wherever you are around the world. Big welcome to In the Know with Peter No. My name is Peter No. I'm a Senior Presidential Director here with Lifewave. I have my beautiful co-host, Mrs. Donna Reiners, who is our Presidential Director, and she's here as I'm leveraging all her skills for this whole social media thing. And I just want to welcome each one of you today. If you're here for the very, very first time on this call, congratulations, because you're going to know a lot of things that you did not know before you were on this call. So this call is really designed for our Be Activating community. As we're growing so big, our teams are just expanding. In the last couple months, I started to realize that there are still a lot of our what we call workout buddies or bodybuilders that are not getting the full support. They might not don't know where to plug in yet. So if you know anyone on your teams, your upline, your sideline, I call them your cousins, your teams, okay, bring them to this call. We talk about in the next hour, literally everything you need to know about how to build your business, the mindset that you have to have for this business, the mindset you have to have for this business, the lifestyle that you have to have for the business. Who resonates with all those? Lifestyle, mindset. Okay, good. Short. We got a lot of good. So from last week, I was talking about the flow. Okay, I was talking about your why, and I was talking about changes, okay, that we're doing in our team. This week, I really want to hone in again, really want to hone in on where do you find your people? Does that scare you when I say that? Where do you find your people? Where does your database come from? Why is that so important, everyone? What does every business need? That's a trick question. People. How do you know in network marketing, what is your business? Your database. It's people, okay? So we're gonna really talk about where do you get your people. I'm gonna go really big into behaviors today again, and then afterwards, I wanna talk about March momentum, because today is March 1st. Woohoo, Donna, what happened to February? It is March 1st already. We are now almost 60 days into the month, okay? So we're gonna talk about that. And then after that, I wanna talk about momentum and culture, okay? So first, let's go ahead and start. Everyone, it is March 1st. Who here had a New Year's resolution when you started the year? How many of us? Okay.
Hey, Peter. Peter, I think you meant we're almost 60 days into the new year, not the new month.
Oh, yeah. 60 days into the new year. Thank you.
Context.
Okay. Thank you. So 60 days into the new year. Who here had a New Year's resolution? Okay. Can anybody write down whatever the New Year's resolution is on the chat? Okay. I'm going to have Donna bring that up. My New Year's resolution, okay, this year is to max out the compensation plan. That is my only goal. Why is that my only goal? Because if you listen to all my other previous recordings, you notice how I always just keep it simple. I always like to accomplish 1 or 2 things now a year. But those 1 or 2 things have to be so big that I put all my energy, all my learning skill sets, I put all my focus into that goal. How many of us here on this call can resonate with that goal? How many of us before this had many goals. Too many goals. Like, I want to lose weight this year. I want to build my business. I want to buy a house. I want to buy this car. I want to pay off my debt. I want to take care of my children's debt. I want to get healthy. How many of us had those kind of goals? Okay, Heidi, good. I see you. Now, how many, we're 60 days into it now. Let's be very transparent. How many of you are on that path to that goal? Diane is good. Carolyn, good. Kojo. So that's a good thing, right? You're on your path. Do you feel like you're more focused this year? Diane, why are you more focused this year? Unmute yourself. Why do you feel like you're more focused this year?
Well, oops, sorry. My traditional business has gotten very tough. And we were just introduced to Lifewave like towards the end of December, but I just see this as like the bomb. I mean, this is where I'm so focused and I know where it's going. I see where it's going. I've always been into health and wellness and want to help people, but this is helping convince people that they can do better for themselves. So I'm very focused on that and I see it happening.
Now, Diane, I've met you in December, right, in Arizona, when you first joined us, and you have experience in the industry, and I'm really going to touch on these topics as I'm going to go towards people. Okay, so when you see this community like this, and you start a brand new journey, how important or has all these tools, like being part of a community that all has the same vision? They all have the same purpose. They all have pretty much the same goals to help people. But does it help you to be part of something like this, like a classroom style, every day where you're just plugging in with no pressure and just learning as you go, but keeping it simple, but you're seeing all these people here learning with you at the same time? Does this help you stay on your goal?
No, absolutely. I mean, I try and be on every single call there is. I can't be on them all, but I rearranged, one of my vendors wanted to talk to me during this time. I said, oh, I can't, I'm busy. Like this is really where I want to stay focused because I see it. So having this community, and I will say, Peter, and with the few other companies I was involved in network marketing, this community is the most engaging and the most helpful and the most accepting of everyone. And that's what I really dig about this. I mean, it's very different, I have to say.
You give me goosebumps, Diane. Who felt that from Diane when she said that? And I can tell you, we're actually so proud of that, Diane, because, and I mention it all the time, I cannot even believe that we actually created a community like this. I really did not expect it. Marcy and I never knew, but what we did is, it's on the topic of goals. When we joined Lifewave 3.5 years ago, what we did not like about the industry, meaning the posturing, right? Yeah, always like in competitive mode. My rent is higher than yours. I make more money than you. La da 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 da, right? When we came here, our only vision was if this patch really did what it's supposed to do, how organic can we grow this?
Yeah.
But how pure can we keep it? And I want everyone to know, it is one of the hardest things to maintain and structure and keep everyone on the same mindset or on the same path. Does that make sense? It is so hard as leaders to not confuse the field. How do you confuse the field, everyone? Are you ready for this? You confuse the field when you're not teaching behaviors. You confuse the field when you're teaching too much science. Why is that? Because if you're teaching too much science, for example, if everybody thinks that they watch David Smith and now they're going to go out there and do protocols. And then when you don't know protocols, you're going to call your uplines and call everyone. What is the protocol for this? What is the protocol for this? Does that make sense? That means you're going to slow yourself down, and then you're totally missing the whole point of peaking and pre-qualifying and learning behaviors to just keep it simple. It's easy for leaders to train too much. It's easy for leaders to do too much, meaning do too much for their partners and not teaching them how to do it on their own. The reason why, Diane, that we have made it this far is because we cut out all the BS, meaning the posturing and the money talk and the MLM talk on our testimonial podcast. I want everyone to know the testimonial podcast is the heartbeat. It is the glue. It is the sticky rice that keeps all of us together here. And again, it's the heart of all the leaders, because everyone that joined us from beginning, from being a manager, again, to director, SD, ED, PD, SPD, everybody had to grow and learn through their own time, through their own speed. But what makes Diane different than Kojo, than Jeff, than Lynn, than Debbie and Heidi? What makes each one of us different as a network marketer, everyone? And I'm going to go deep into this topic. It's the people. It's your environment. Now, let me explain what that means. Who here is brand new? Who here is brand new that never been in the industry? Let me find you. Heidi. Okay, perfect. Heidi, unmute yourself. Are you scared?
Yes.
Oh, good. Everyone, we have a scared Heidi here. Let's make sure we don't scare her too much, okay? But I love picking on brand new people, okay, Heidi? Because we have to understand now. Heidi, you're brand new in this world now, in our networking world. Let's pick your brain. What piqued your interest to join this industry? What got you here?
Of course, a friend that I trust. And I didn't believe her at first, but once I tried the patches for 3 days, the X39, that
Awesome.
I saw energy, I started sleeping better, things like that. And so then when she shared with me more about the money side that you could make in this business, I don't know what the right term is. I don't like using that term, but to just have a business. And
So, okay, go ahead.
yeah, so that's what piqued my interest in going further. But like, I'm sorry, I didn't get your name, the other person that spoke.
Diane.
I always wanted to help people too. I wanted to go into health coaching and go into that category. There's a lot of things over the years. I taught land and water aerobics, always wanted to help people with their issues. And this is a sure thing. It really works.
So Heidi, you came here because number one, the technology inspired you. It piqued your interest because it can help people.
Yes.
When you saw this yourself and you got patched, the moment you knew that this worked, your heart, because it's so big, you know that it can help other people, correct?
Correct.
And then as you dug in deeper further, when you can see there's that actual business model attached to it, actually, when you help people, our company has to reward you or compensate you for your time and for your network, correct?
Correct.
Everyone, we have 78 people on here. How many people can resonate with Heidi and go back to when you were brand new in the industry? Did you all join because of what Heidi is thinking right now? Yes, I can assure you that, right, Heidi? Now, as you dig deeper, now, I want you to think of yourself as a brand new person that never been to the gym before. You don't know what it feels like to work out. You don't have any muscles, right? But you have an urgency because you know you need to be healthy, meaning that you need to physically work out, correct? But you're scared because you don't know what gym to go to. You don't know how to use the tools, the workout equipments. You don't know your nutrition, what to eat. You don't know what coach to hire or what trainer to show you. You don't know if you want to do swimming, yoga, Pilates, CrossFit, or heavyweights, correct?
Right.
How many of us felt that way when you came into this industry also? Good, Carolyn, good, everybody. Now, I want you all to now think of, there's 3 types of people that you're gonna come in contact with. You're gonna come in contact with someone like Heidi, that is brand new in the industry, okay? You're gonna come in contact with someone that has been in the industry and never had success. When I say never had success, meaning that they've never earned maybe more than $1,000 a month consistently. They never learn how to build an organization and duplicate themselves. And they never understood behaviors, meaning they just didn't, they were programmed wrong. Okay? How many on this call are the number 2? Oh, wow. Okay, quite a handful of people. Great. Okay, I can honestly say there's a lot of number 1s and number 2s here, okay, in our community, for sure. Now, the number 3 is someone like Marcy and I, who've been in the industry for 15 years or more. Worked our butts off, meaning we've joined so many companies. We've learned every compensation plan. We've learned every trainer, or we've heard of every MLM guru. We've been in unilevel compensation plans. We've been in binaries. We've been in stair step. We've been in breakaways. We've been in direct sales. We've sold high ticket items. We sold supplements. We sold medical device. We sold everything in this industry, but we never reached the top, meaning we never won a championship. Okay, there's only levels, right? But remember, no one's ever going to remember the second place person. They're always going to remember who's in first place, right? So how many of us are the number 3s here? Okay, maybe not that many. So let me pick on someone. Who's the number 2? Who has been in the industry and never had any success but learned? Okay, Debbie. Let me pick on Debbie Kelly. Debbie.
Go ahead, make it a Debbie. Make it a pick on Debbie day.
Pick on Debbie Day. Okay, Debbie. Now, Debbie, what brought you back into this industry, and what do you now? I want people on this call to really hear and feel the types of people that you're going to come in contact with, okay? Because
Yes.
we're going to relate today. I'm going to talk heavy on people. So, Debbie, how many companies have you been with? What did you learn before? And what have you seen that's so different here that is keeping you here today?
I tried 2 different companies. One was nutritional, The other was like a utility company. Okay, I was never taught like you and Marcy and everyone who are on these calls are doing. Never had anybody sort of take me by the hand and lead me through it. So I was pretty much on my own trying to work my full-time hair business and, you know, run a home, do it all, and still fighting the challenges of my health. But what turned me on to this company is my health. I've, for those that know, been struggling with MS for more than 47 years. And when I heard about this technology, I didn't even have to, all I needed was to look at the technology. And I said, how do I get a hold of this? I said, I want it yesterday. Actually, I wanted it 20 years ago when David started a lot of the inventions. You know, I probably never would be in a chair today, but that is what's driving me, my health, number one. And the kinds of friends, after listening to Marcy's teaching yesterday, the light went on. I got on the internet and I went back to my high school group that's on there. And I started messaging classmates, former classmates that I haven't seen in almost 50 years. And so I got like 2 leads going already from yesterday. And I've got one going today. And it's just, you know, I'm finding out that I have to contact people that are more like-minded. The area where I'm living is people are closed-minded. They're not open to hear about this. And probably because I've been in network marketing and I've attacked them already. They're like, uh-oh, here she comes again. But a lot of people around here know my health history. So I have that on my side. So I can just keep doing the patches and show them what is happening to me and be my own testimony.
How many people can relate with Debbie? Good. So Debbie has been with 2 companies. I don't know what she learned over there. You know, she might have got excited, but again, to me, I don't think, you know, the way we operate, I don't think there's another team like this in the whole industry. I'll just let you know, okay? Straight up. But what, again, just exactly how Heidi was compelled, Debbie was compelled because of the technology, okay? But then when she found out what the technology does, because of her heart, she wants to share. And then because she wants to share, and because she has that networking itch, meaning networking, when you really understand the power of network marketing, it is a challenge. It's a personal challenge, everyone. Does that make sense? To succeed this, okay? It took me a long time, Debbie. It took me a decade or more but I'm so stubborn. Because I don't know what, if I do something, I want to succeed in it. And if I can't do it, I want to figure this thing out. So we're going to talk about that too, okay? Now, thank you, Debbie. I'm going to come back to you too. Now, who's a number 3 here? Who here has been in the industry long enough, hit a certain leadership rank, but never reached the top here? Do we have someone? Can somebody unmute if we have someone like that here?
Hi, Peter.
Kojo has his hand up.
Kojo. Kojo has his hand up. Go ahead, Kojo.
How you doing, Peter?
Good.
Yeah, I consider it success. I started in multi-level marketing over 50 years ago, selling soap products. I found my partner, and it's so crucial to us as we're learning here to find that gym partners that are going to be with us, that are like us or better. But I had found that back then, and we cleared, it was 55 years ago, we cleared $250,000 in basically a year and 2 months. That was a lot of money back then. I had 330 people in my downline in 4.5 months. We set up our own double pathway to success because when we came into it, one, we were Black in what was almost a totally white element of leadership within that group. We came in on the tail end of it, not in this position where we had, where we could look at being the first and being in front and having new product. We were old and it had been out for years, but it hadn't touched our neighborhoods. It hadn't touched the real basic people who could utilize the product. So we were able to corral that. We were able to set up our own stores, which can double your income. And we had relative great success. We were doing 6 meetings a week, 5 nights a week, and 1 on Saturday. We were both generals. I had developed 25 generals. I used to wear a big diamond ring with 5-carat diamonds in it. Didn't want the Cadillac and all the incentive things that you got. We worked our butts off. We were not only the people out talking with folks every single day of the week, catching them on lunch hours, coming out of their various offices and stuff. We were picking them up and bringing them to the meetings in vans at night, and then selling them $6,600 worth of soap product for $5,000.
$6,600 worth of soap?
You got $6,600 worth of our soap products for $5,000. I sat in front of every type of person, nationality, religion, whatever, and presented to them soap products that were good. They were good, biodegradable elements, completely dissolving, no residue, all of that stuff back then. It became important. And so yeah, it was the way it was. But I never reached a top level of that business. I've been in others since then, and still the road to.
Sorry, Kojo, I accidentally unmuted you, Kojo. Sorry.
Come on back, Kojo, wherever you are.
I'm back.
Am I back?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. So you know, in other businesses, MLM came in kind of a middle road with things developed already. Spent a lot of money just purchasing products, supplying products, moving from one event to another, you know, all
Okay,
of
so
these different
I'm going to
things.
stop you right here, Kojo.
Right.
Everyone, can you resonate with Kojo? Meaning, do you know what Kojo had to do before to get to that success level? The hard work he did, the amount of people he had to talk to, the amount of sales, selling $6,000 worth of soap, that is no joke, okay? That's some major skill set. But Kojo, did you do that before the internet time?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We're
Oh,
talking, we're talking way over 50 years ago, bro. Yeah.
Did you say 50?
Way over 50 years ago, yes.
Man, people were putting out $6,000 for soap 50 years ago?
That's right. That's right.
Is everybody listening to this right now?
People have money that they waste, not money that they use properly or proficiently.
Okay.
We waste money.
But
Now,
that was
Kojo.
also at a specific time in history too, right after some specific things, and there's a reason why that was happening in our nation.
There's history in our nation. We don't need to go to all of it.
I
The name of
know.
the tune becomes that we survive.
Yep.
Where I come from, you survive. And I was a professional sports person. That's a way out for a lot of people. You'll notice the amounts of money they make today as professional sports. When folks like Billie Jean King, Chrissy Everett Lloyd, Arthur Ashe, Althea Gibson, Rosie Casals, they didn't make any money in professional tennis. You had to win a whole round of professional tennis just to get a paycheck. We had to battle and deal with everything. So
Kojo,
yeah,
I need to stop you right now. I
it's
need to
fine.
ask you one more question.
Uh-huh.
So if you've already done this and you never reached this top, what do you see here? What is this your last run? What do you see here that will make sure that you're gonna get to here? And then I want to talk about the people now.
Well, you have an element where when people reach successful points, they humanize. They become caring about people. There's a lot of caring here. There's a lot of simplicity here. As you always say, keep it simple. We say keep it simple, stupid. Because as I tell a lot of males, the S on our chest when we rip open our shirt is not Superman, it's stupid. And so we have to teach, and teaching is learning. Learning is listening, and when we listen more, we can share more. We have that opportunity here to evolve around one another, all building toward better advancement, more knowledge, and reaching more people, which is what we have to understand with the products that we have here that David Smith has put on this planet. Not in this country, but on this planet. Everyone has stem cells.
So everyone, you heard that from Kojo. 50 years ago, he was selling $6,000 worth of soap because maybe at that time, at that space, it was the trend. It was still the people to people business, correct?
Correct.
People still had to talk to people physically. Fast forward 50 years now today, we have a thing called the internet. We have a thing called social media. But even with those tools today, why are people still not as successful with all these tools today that's in your hands? But everybody can use that. So thank you, Kojo. I'm gonna go into the topic now, okay?
Yes, sir.
So everyone, you heard from someone who has no experience to someone that has little experience and someone that has a lot of experience. When you talk to people out there, I want you to do this. I want you to learn how to put yourself in their shoes. I want you to start understanding, pretend that everybody's never been to the gym before, because Heidi's environment is different than Debbie's or Diane's. Diane's environment is different than Kojo's, Wyatt and Peter and Marcy's. Why is that? Because if you're gonna enroll a Peter and a Marcy, this is the big difference, everyone. When you enroll a Peter and a Marcy, and if a Peter and a Marcy likes this technology so much, they decide to do it. Who do you think a Peter and a Marcy is gonna call? Another Peter and a Marcy. Does that make sense, everyone? If you go to the gym and you see one strong person working out, do you know who they're surrounded by? Another couple of strong people that have muscles too.
Yeah.
So it's very different. And I want everyone to really get this today. It's very different if I approach a Heidi, and if I ask her, Heidi, what have you heard about stem cells? I'm piquing her interest. She likes it. I pre-qualify her. I send her the website. She likes it. She joins the business. And then she asked me, Peter, how do I do this business? What is the first thing that Heidi, Debbie, Diane, Kojo, Peter, and Marcy have to do? What is the first thing that we have to do? We have to make a database. But is Heidi's database different than Diane's? Yes, because Diane's been in the industry before. So who do you think Diane will call first when she likes this? She's gonna call people that are in the industry too. Does that make sense, everyone? So I really wanna hone in on this topic because I want you to just to understand there's just 3 types of different people here, but you notice how all 3 types of people still have the one common denominator or 2. They all love the technology, they all want to share it, and they all want to get rewarded or have a business behind it. Is that true? But how come 3 of them will get 3 different results? Because it's the people. So I want you to today understand your business is dictated by the people that you talk to and by their people and their environment. So I cannot expect the same thing from Heidi than I expect from Diane and Debbie. I cannot expect the same thing from Debbie and Diane than I expect from Kojo and Marcy. Why? Because we all have different people. But the one thing that we teach here, and this is, again, I'm reiterating it to you. Why are we so successful? Is because we took out all the parts. And everybody now, depending, it doesn't matter if you have experience or not, you're gonna learn the same thing. Kojo still has to change his ways of how to do business today than he did 50 years ago. Today, he has to learn how to use technology. Today, he has to learn how to use Zoom. Today, he has to learn how to pre-qualify, meaning learn how to use apps to get the tools to send out. Today, though, it's very different than maybe even before COVID, because if it wasn't for the COVID, everyone, Peter, No, and Marcy might be still doing business the old way, which is really belly to belly, one-on-ones, Starbucks meetings, and hotel meetings. Diane is smiling because she knows that's what we do, correct? Which now is still okay to do business, but because we have technology, we're moving at the speed of light now. We can actually contact and get to know people faster. We don't have to spend more money to build a relationship, meaning we don't have to travel to each other to get to know each other. It's kind of like online dating. You can date each other online for free instead of taking her out to dinner before I get to know her. Does that make sense, everyone? Go ahead, Diane. You have a question. You can unmute yourself.
So still in this business though, because I actually spoke to Juliana once, because I asked her how to approach another person high up in network marketing. She said, Diane, just pick up the phone and call. So I want to give you a great, I called a guy yesterday that I knew from another company. I'll make this quick. He's fabulous. And he always sends me these lovely birthday wishes, whatever. I call him, ask him how he's doing, yada, yada, yada. And I said to him, you probably know why I'm calling. He goes, yeah, what are you doing? And I said, are you familiar with stem cells? And he said, oh, you're doing the patches. And I said, yeah. And I said, what do you think about it? He said, Diane, it's great. He said, do you have any idea what I've been doing? And I said, I don't, besides your real estate. And he said, I've been doing the gel, which I knew there's a gel out there. Anyway, he said, I have such enormous success now. He said, I am literally making millions and millions and millions of dollars. I have a business in 16 countries. I said, that's unbelievable. And I said, I'm so happy for you. He said, my family doesn't get it. I still can't convince my brothers. They wouldn't understand that I'm picking up these checks all the time. He said, I want to tell you something. How long have you been doing the patches? I said, since the end of December. He said, I'm going to give you advice. Stick with it. Absolutely. Stick with it. He said, if somebody tells you no, move on. If somebody tells you they don't work, move on. He said, do you think I care if somebody tells me the gel doesn't work? I don't. I move on. So I just kind of wanted to say that to everybody, but he was so lovely on the phone. You know,
That is a professional.
yeah,
He's a professional.
yeah, it was, I just had to share that because it was so fabulous. And that's for everybody. Just if they tell you they don't work, move on, because it will work.
So I want to piggyback on what you just said too. And everyone, the reason why I'm sticking on this topic today is I'm going back to recruiting. I'm physically have to make a database. I physically have not done that in a while. I physically have to call. So going through that flow and actually doing this, that's why I'm talking about this, because I can personally see the challenge that each one of you have. I can physically feel the pain of people not picking up my phone call, not returning my message, not returning my text. How many of you get that? I get it too. Now, the reason why, Diane, I like that man is because he understands the psychology. There is no secret to this business, everyone. It's just being so committed to what you believe in and building an environment around it, that you got to build skill sets. Everybody has their gym. Fortunately, that gentleman found his gym, and because maybe he came in at the best time in there, and maybe because it was a binary, and because the trend was hot, he got squeezed and he's riding the wave. We can all ride the wave too. Okay, we can get lucky, or we can get lucky with skills, or we can just build our business with skills. I don't mind all three, but over here, we want to teach you with skills. And I'm telling you right now, this call, if you're going to get something out of here today, it's all about people and behaviors. Behaviors. What is the behavior again? It's what you say every day. It's what you do every day. Okay, like again, going to the gym. How many times can you do a sit-ups? How many ways? There's only so many ways. Once you figure out that way, you just keep on doing it. How many times can you do a push-up? How many different ways? Only so many ways. But once you know how to do the push-up, you constantly have to do the push-up. And then this is the beauty of this industry. You have to be so transparent and honest with yourself, because that's the only way that you can grow out of your self-development. Does that make sense? You have to figure out your own honesty. You can't lie to yourself. Just like when you go to the gym, you can't pretend you did 10 push-ups, but you wanted to do 100 and you told yourself you did 100, but you only did 10. Nobody's gonna regulate you here. So the first skills, one of the first skill set is self-honesty, self-regulation. And each time, why did Marcy and I come up with the 3-3-3? Yes, you can do more than 3. I can tell you, yes. But physically in a day, you can only, the most professionals of all professionals can only do 15 presentations a day. That's the max you can do. Meaning Heidi can only talk to 15 people max. Hey, how you doing? What have you heard about stem cells? But what is the number 3? The 3 is because we want to give you in the beginning stages, we want you to fit us in your nooks and crannies, and we want you to test drive this culture. We want you to test drive this system. We want you to see it if it's for you. Once you learn how to do 3, you're going to have to follow up with those 3. Once you learn how to peak, you're going to have to learn how to pre-qualify. And I'll tell everyone, that is the 2 most important things here now. To understand how to pique people's interest, meaning, what do they know? Are you listening to them? Like what Kojo said, are you listening to their problems, their issues? And then are you using our tool, our patching podcast, to relate with them? If you don't do those 2 things right, you're going to have these 2 issues. Number 1, people will join you, but then they might quit because then they have the wrong expectation, meaning maybe they have the wrong product expectation, meaning that they didn't hear it from you, and they might think that they can get cured in a week or 2 weeks or maybe in a day or a month, and then they quit the product. Or they don't know how to do the business is because you never took them to the podcast. You never took them to the classes. You never took them to the training. How many of you can resonate with that? If you already made a mistake, good. I want you to make the mistake, okay? It is very important that you make the mistake because that's the only way you're gonna learn how to grow through that. So I'm telling you on this call today, you got to hear 3 different types of people. Their environments are different, so you can expect speed, but depending on who you recruit, you got to understand their environment and you adapt to their environment. Does that make sense, everyone? Learn that. I'm going to teach differently to Heidi than I do to Diane and Debbie. I'm going to talk to Kojo and Marcy and Dr. Stacy and Charity different than I do with Heidi because they both have different environments. Now, a professional network marketer like ourselves, because we've been in a gym, we know a lot of other gym members. We know a lot of bodybuilders. So yes, it is more easy for us to build a faster business today. But guess what? 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we were all in Heidi's shoes. Okay, Heidi, we were all in your shoes. Carolyn, we were all in your shoes. We understand how you feel. And that's why this system is so platonic. We have to make it an equal playing field. We have to treat everybody the same. Notice, even David Schmidt tells you, I treat you the same. Why? Because you're not getting paid more because you have a higher rank. The only difference between my income and Marcy's income and Diane's income and Francis' income is how you're structured and how many people you bring into the team that you personally enroll. That means if I am a good enroller, I'm gonna teach people how to duplicate. I'm gonna make more money than someone that enrolls half of the people I enroll. Does that make sense, everyone? But Francis, you have a question? You can unmute yourself.
No, I just agree with you.
Okay, good. I like to see you, so I just say hi too. Okay, so I love and notice, okay, this is not really training everyone. I just want to speak your language. I don't care how slow you go. I just care that one day you get that aha moment like Debbie did, right? Or like Diane did, or like Kojo did. I want you to get just aha and go, oh my God, this business is really that simple. I just overthink myself. Just because I'm in network marketing does not mean you have to be somebody else. You are still Heidi. You're still Kojo. You're still Lynn. You're still Victoria. Does that make sense, everyone? You still have to be you, but you're a new person now because you have new goals. You're learning new skills. You're learning a new purpose and you're creating a new environment. So everyone, when you join the Patching Podcast, just because you're coming on alone does not mean anything. It's a good thing. If you don't even have anyone to bring on the call, it doesn't matter, because one of you times 300 is still 300, correct? When people see 300 people on a call, that means in their mind, they're like, oh my God, how do you get 300 people that want to help each other, work together, play together, win together? That in itself is a recruitment. Does everybody understand that? Good. Now, I'm going to give everyone homework for next week, and I want you to play with me. Today is March 1st. I'm going to challenge everyone now. I need each one of you by next week, find an accountability buddy. I need you to go down to your teams. And if you don't have a team because you're brand new, go enroll someone, and that's your accountability buddy. If you've been with us for a month, a year, 2 years, I know you can go down your back office and find an accountability buddy. Once you find your accountability buddy, I want you to challenge each other this, because my new accountability buddy, his name is Eric. You're going to meet him if you have not met him yet. He's challenging me. He's like, Peter, in the month of March, I'm going to challenge you. I am going to invite more people on the podcast than you. He did not say he's going to recruit more. He did not say he's going to enroll more. What did he say? I am going to bring more people to the podcast than you. That means he has to pique more people's interest. That means he has to learn to pre-qualify better. And he's going to bring those people all on the podcast. And then the results are what? Non-attachments. If they like it, they will sign up. If they don't like it, thank you, have a nice day. How many of us here, 70 of us, are up to that challenge for the month of March? Who wants to make this a March momentum month? Raise your hand. I'm going to call this March Momentum Month. And it's going to create managers. I don't care how many people you enroll this month. I just want to see how many of us can physically go through the 333 PPP, and I want to have your accountability. Who can invite more people to the podcast? Can we challenge each other? Good. Now, what is this challenge going to do for us all, everyone? What if we go from 300 to 400 people by the end of this month every day? Would that be a momentum bust? Would that build momentum? Yes. What if now you're learning more behaviors by non-attachments? You don't care if they sign up, but you're just learning how to peak. You're learning how to pre-qualify. You're learning how to get them to the podcast. And I want you to do that every day now for this whole month. I want you to build that muscle so strong this month. And I want you to see it next week. I'm going to ask everyone next week, okay, who enrolled the most? And then I'm going to give a gift to out. And this is going by trust factor only. You can tell me you invited 100 and I want to see those 100, okay? I want to give you something, okay? So next week is my favorite topic. I'm going to talk about cash flow quadrant. So I want you to bring the best entrepreneurs next week on that call. I'm going to share with them exactly what mindset, where they are in their life, whether you're an employee or self-employed. And I want to make sure you totally understand what it feels like to own a system, not a business. Own a system, be part of a system, and how to duplicate that system. Would everybody like to learn that next week? Okay. Did everybody learn something today? Good. I'm going to ask Donna. Donna, what did you learn today?
Well, I'm sure I learned a lot because I take a lot of notes. But that wasn't in my mind. So I'll have to consider that. But what came to my mind is in the challenge to invite people to a podcast, my challenge is before you, when you're finished with today's call, sit down and write out a system that you're going to follow in order to follow up with the people that you invite to your podcast. Because if you invite 20 people to a podcast, but you have no follow-up with them, either right afterwards or the next day with an appointment, then really that's just like taking a stone and throwing it and expect it to skid on the water. I just encourage you to actually, instead of sending out 10 links to people say, come to this podcast, make a phone call and say, hey, John, how are you doing? Would you be willing to meet me? Or do you have time to meet me at either Tuesday or Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Time? I'd love to show you something. I'd love for you to hear about something that I'm involved in that I think could change your life or the life of your family. And then you actually have a real viable prospect and not just something you're throwing to the wind. Because this, if we're going to make managers, which was Peter said was make managers, you're not going to make a manager if you have no follow-up with these people that you invite to the podcast. So that's my part. I was reinforcing in my mind. What am I learning? I'm learning that if without follow-up, it doesn't matter how many people you invite to a podcast.
Well, the reason why I'm doing this challenge is you cannot invite someone on a podcast until you pique their interest, until you pre-qualify them anyways. Correct, everyone? We're learning this every day, right? What I'm doing is I just want to make sure everybody is identifying a workout buddy, a accountability buddy. And I want you guys to hold each other responsible and role play with each other. What did you do right? And what did you do wrong? And every day when you're inviting, peaking, pre-qualifying, inviting, peaking, pre-qualifying, inviting, and when you share that with your accountability buddy, like I'm sharing with Eric, hey, why didn't this person show up? Why didn't this person buy? What did we not ask? What did we not say? What did we not peak? Did we not peak enough? Did we not show her the right, did we not ask her the right questions? Did we not listen to her? Does everybody understand that? I want you to really go to that basics and work on that, okay? That is the homework. It is a little challenge, but again, we're learning skill sets right now that a lot of people are totally forgetting. And I'm going back to a lot of the reason why I'm doing this, I'm going back to all my personals, their personals, and their personals. Some of them have been here for 3 months, 6 months, even a year. And guess what? They're still making mistakes. They're still not inviting people to the podcast because they are not learning that beginning stages. And now I had to go back and retrain them. And guess what's happening now? They're getting excited again. Because they're hearing it from a different ear's point of view now. Something happened. They're frustrated because they're not getting results. And now they have to be open ears, okay? So this has been another great call. I just don't know what an hour goes by. Man, I think we time jump or something, or things just go so fast. But I enjoy these calls very much, okay, everyone, because I love seeing results. But the moment you learn how to ride this bike, you will always know how to ride the bike. If you don't know how to ride this bike properly, you will never learn how to ride this bike. And the one thing I don't want to see is you quit this industry because you did not learn the proper behavior on how to build yourself and build your team. So thank you everyone for joining. I'll
Peter,
see you
quick-
tonight. I'll be on with Amy tonight, and it's no interruptions tonight for sure. And I'll see you all next week on In the Know with Peter Know, okay? Love you
Peter.
all. I gotta get ready for my next call. Bye, everybody.
Hold on, let me turn things off, Peter.
Okay, I gotta go.
Okay, you
I'm
can.
waiting for my other call.
I'm gonna
Bye.
stop the live stream. Bye, guys. Thanks so much. Krista, do you have my phone number? You do? Okay, that's right. Yeah, you do. Thank you so much. Can you text it? Cool beans. Thank y'all so much. Oh, end recording. Whoops. Blessings.